Vegas residents know hard work, but you don't have to do it all yourself. TaskRabbit has been helping locals in the Neon City for over a decade with everything from furniture assembly to minor home repairs. Don't let that to-do list ruin your weekend. Use the TaskRabbit app to describe what you need and find a skilled tasker in your neighborhood who can help take it off your plate. And the best part, transparent pricing. You'll see the hourly rate up front, which includes the tasker's rate and the service fee as well, so there are no surprises at checkout. So download the TaskRabbit app or visit TaskRabbit.com today to get those home to-dos crossed off.
Summerlin North has been one of the sleepier sides of town for a while now, but in the last year, a bevy of buzzy new restaurants has opened in and around the JW Marriott and the resort at Summerlin. So today on CityCast Las Vegas, I sit down with Al Mancini and Gemini Stevens. They're co-hosts of the podcast Food Loathing, and we talk about why Summerlin North is getting hot and where you should eat if you're headed over there. It's Thursday, April 23rd. I'm Sonja Cho Swanson, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Al, Gemini, welcome.
Hey,
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
So good to have y'all. Okay, listen, Summerlin North has been kind of one of the sleepier sides of town. Would you agree for a while now?
I mean, it's
know.
always had the center of Boca Park and Tivoli Village, which had good dining right in there, just outside of Summerlin North.
That's fair. Yeah. On the southern edge of Summerlin North. It's kind of like...
about as close as you could get to Summerlin of the master plan community, you know? It's, there's not a lot of freedom once you get inside that, you know.
Yeah. I also kind of feel like it was like anchored by Sun City, which is that big retirement community, which I think lends to some of the sleepiness of it all. I actually lived in that area for about 4 years, so it's kind of like a home base for me too.
Our producer has a house there, so yeah.
Oh yeah, they know. They know. Yeah. It's not exactly happening, but I have been seeing these buzzy new openings. So I've been seeing like these names tossed around: Ai Pazzi, No Moi, some trendy like tacos and smash burgers. What's going on, y'all?
You know, it really started about 2 years ago when the Suncoast Casino started really updating their restaurant program. And then, not to be outdone, the resort at Summerlin and the JW Marriott and Rampart Casino, all of that's now being consolidated as the resort at Summerlin. They have just gone completely insane with their restaurant collection. And they already had a very good restaurant collection, and they've just blown it out of the water.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, some of the mainstays that they've had, like Jade, has been there for quite a while. Hawthorne Grill went through like a reboot, but they're back. So those are still there. But now they have this area called, I think it's called the Neighborhood Food Hall. And there's some signage on either side of it. You can come in from either side of the hotel, either through the casino or from the back valet. I think it's called the Palm Tower. They've really made it more of a food hall versus a hallway with parts off of it that go to restaurants and things like that. There's some more like, I'd almost call it open air if it wasn't in a building, where you can walk right up from the main part of the drag. And there's a lot to choose from now. The
food hall area, which is very cool. I mean, you have to say this is really the first time I've seen one that's actually a hallway. You know, normally we think of food hall and it's like this giant medieval hall, but this is a hallway that you walk down to get from one place to another, and on both sides you got food.
I love it. Okay, so tell us what's worth actually visiting and ordering at any of these new spots. Like what's got you super excited?
I have to tell you, I really enjoyed, and I'm surprised by this because I'm very picky about my smash burgers. So went in and they have chicken sandwiches. They've got burgers. It's called For the Win. It is right next door to Tacos 1986. They sort of share this little space that you can walk in and around. The food was really good. I liked it. The bread held up. The burgers had a little bit of that crispy on the edge that I want from a smash burger. The toppings are done really well. So when you're holding it like a sandwich and you're biting into it, it's not either falling all over the place. Neither is it too dry. I thought it was really well balanced, and the chicken sandwich was fantastic.
Oh.
And For the Win Burgers may be the only place in a food hall I've ever seen that sells Brussels sprouts.
Right?
Oh.
So that's interesting. If you want some fried Brussels sprouts, you can go there for that as well.
I'm into it.
Right? I always felt like that was like a very Summerlin edition, right? Like eat your veggies, be healthy, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, but that whole food hall area, right? I mean, I think that's like, 1/3 of what they're doing right now. And it's right there. It's tacos, it's burgers, it's oyster bar, it's pizza, and it's dim sum, all right there across the hallways from each other. The names are all well known. They're imports from other cities where they've all done very, very well. And it's a nice variety. I mean, it's only 5 spots that I just mentioned, but that really gives you just about anything you could think that you might want.
It really does.
Nomwa is kind of famous, right? They're from New York. I actually went to the Nomwa in New York, in Chinatown.
Oh, I'm envious.
It was good. I thought it was pretty good. I will be honest. I think there's actually better dim sum like in the world.
Sure.
But as a historic institution, I think it's something like 100-year-old like dim sum restaurant.
21 or something like that now.
Super.
It's insane.
Yeah, just established kind of place. But yeah, I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. But I don't know. What do you think of the Nomwa?
I think dim sum is like, there's 5% that's phenomenal and, might deserve a Michelin star or something. And then there's 50% that just sucks. And then there's 45% that you just want it to be good in the middle. And these guys hit that really well.
Yes, totally fine. What did you think?
Yeah, it's approachable. To me, it felt more fast casual, which is sort of the idea, but I still went into it with like really high expectations, knowing the history of Nomwa. So I personally was a little bit disappointed, but if you're going into a food hall, you're going in, you want it to be consistent. For that, I liked it.
Okay.
And we tried a bunch of different things. The sauces were good. The service is quick. The portions are really good. So I'm not mad at it. It wasn't overly expensive. Yeah. I think that I'm owning this, that I had sort of put this certain expectation on it. So I wanted a little something else with that name. But understanding that they are in a food hall, that you can walk up right to a counter and sit at a counter. They have a few small tables. The food looks like what they're telling you're going to get. So I wasn't loving it, but I also wasn't disappointed. I think it fits what that area needs, and there isn't a whole lot of approachable dim sum.
Yes, that's fair. In that area especially, yeah. So Aipatsi has been really intriguing to me. That kind of opened to a lot of fanfare. What's that all about?
Yeah, Aipatsi is kind of a double whammy over there, okay?
Yeah.
So Aipatsi itself is one of the new sit-down legitimate restaurants, and it comes from Fabio Viviani, celebrity chef, TV chef. And it's just a really, really solid Italian restaurant. They do some great things. They do great tableside preparations. So they fancy it up. If you want a nice night out, if you want a date night, an anniversary night, you're going to have a good time there. You don't have to dress up if you don't want to, but it is definitely a legit restaurant. And then over in the food hall, we have Aipatsi Pizza. And that's where you just go and get a slice. So those are two different things. They're both Fabio Viviani. He's also the guy who did their oyster and crudo bar.
Yeah.
And so he obviously got a big contract, came in, he did a lot of stuff. And that's really excellent, man. I'm glad that he's there. I think, you need Italian, you need solid Italian. They have always had some form of Italian there, but honestly, ever since Gustav Mahler, I think, retired, they haven't really had a solid Italian restaurant in there. And I believe that this is the one that might bring them back to that level of this is your great neighborhood Italian, especially because we just lost one over in Boca Park, a very good Italian restaurant, Calvino. So now if you're in that area, you want a new Italian place, if that was one of your favorites, I would definitely send you over and try the sit-down Aipatsi.
Nice.
And the other thing I like about the Aipatsi sort of trio from Fabio Viviani, like Al was saying, he has all three of those spaces. He's got the sit down, he's got the pizza, and then he's got the oyster and crudo bar. And for the food hall setup, it's actually brilliantly laid out because the oyster bar and the pizza have access from that hallway. And then you walk into the sit down restaurant if that's what you want. And they're all connected. So you can see the glass doors from the entrance to the sit down restaurant comes around into like this huge L-shaped bar that comes out into the food hall area. So if you are walking down that hallway, you can literally belly up right to the bar. And there's the wet bar, for drinks and things like that. There's the pizza, and then there's this beautiful laid out oyster bar. So it's really put together well, and they stay really well connected.
Okay, so what are we ordering at Aipatsi? Make me hungry, Al.
Okay, look, the can't miss at Ipazzi, the thing that wowed everybody when I was in there was the tableside buffalo mozzarella. The fact that they actually make the cheese right there, or the burrata.
Oh, they
actually
make the cheese.
And yes, they make the
in front
cheese,
of you.
they mix it up tableside, and then they do that, and that
Doesn't
becomes
that take,
part
like,
of the
hours?
caprese salad. No, it's just, you mix up the curds, and, it's, they're not milking the cows.
Are they milking the cow in front of you too, Al? I was going to say, like, this is extreme tableside service.
Yes.
Yeah, if you start with the curds, it's really fun because if your water is just the right temperature, they can do all of it in just a few minutes and then lay it out.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing. I need to learn food science,
really
clearly.
cool.
That's blowing my mind right
And
now.
I just checked the menu. It's still on there, so we're good.
Nice. I love it. Okay, so I kind of want to know, do you know why all of this is happening at the JW Marriott / the resort at Summerlin now? Like, what's the impetus behind this, I don't know, like blossoming of life, a dining scene life?
I think somebody just caught on to the potential that they were missing out on. If you look at the off-strip restaurant companies, let's be honest, the only ones that have been super serious about maintaining fantastic restaurant programs have been stations, and they have a great reputation for that. And now we're at a time where locals don't want to go to the Strip. They're looking to their local neighborhoods. They want things that are as varied and as quality as what they'll find on the Strip. But now everybody's looking around their neighborhood, and these guys are sitting there saying, well, we've got a pretty rich neighborhood in our backyard. Why are we letting these other, why are we letting Suncoast up their game, and why a station has this crazy game going on? Let's get in the game, and let's get in a big way. And that's what they really have done. And, this is we're just scratching the surface here. There are other new things. They brought wino in. The food is fantastic. It's all done by celebrity chef Sean McLean. The wine selection, I'm told by my friends who know wine better than I do, is great and very well priced. I love the vibe. If I have to go and work somewhere in an afternoon, it's like my favorite place in there to go and work.
That does sound lovely.
Yeah. And, they even if you are working and, you don't want to have a drink until you're maybe halfway done, they do have some non-alcoholic wine, so you could work in there and do that as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. You know what they say? Oh, actually, it's the other way around. They say that you're supposed to write drunk and edit sober.
Yes, that
so
is.
I don't know. We'll have to figure out the timing of that one.
Yeah. I did that for about 30 years of my career very well.
Right. Okay, but I'm curious because a lot of things are happening at the JW Marriott / now known as the resort at Summerlin. Is there anything happening outside of this particular venue, but still in the Summerlin North area that's kind of bringing new life to the neighborhood?
Well, again, I think you still do want to go over to Suncoast, and you want to make sure you see what they're doing at their resorts. They just renovated.
I will say, they opened up Dupar's a couple years ago, and that was delicious.
A full renovation. They closed Dupar's down. They gave it a new coat of paint. It's looking even better. They were doing an all-you-can-eat hotcake special for a while. I don't know if they're still doing that. And actually, William B's Steakhouse, which is about 2 years old right now over there, is a great steakhouse. I still think Hawthorne Grill at JW Marriott is a better one because they have a brilliant French chef who puts all kinds of crazy specials on the menu that you wouldn't expect. But that being said, I would not snooze on the Suncoast either. I think the Suncoast really has some cool stuff going on.
Zenleaf Las Vegas is celebrating more than just 420. This year marks a major milestone, and Zenleaf Las Vegas is celebrating 10 years in the community with their All In at 10 anniversary event, running May 21st through May 30th. If you're waiting for the right time to come in and check out Zenleaf, this is it, guys, because over 10 days, they'll be featuring daily deals, in-store activations, and partnerships with 10 local organizations, with a portion of the proceeds supporting their impact right here in Las Vegas. It's their way of giving back to the community that supported them for the past decade. Now, whether you're stopping in for the deals, the experience, or just to see what's new, they're here to make it easy, convenient, and worth your time. And get this, if you're really in a hurry, make sure you check out their location off of Flamingo and Fort Apache, which has you covered with a drive-through pickup. How about that? Come find your Zen this 420. Learn more at zenleafdispensaries.com. This year, TEDx Las Vegas 2026 is exploring the theme of past, present, possible, looking at where we've been, where we are, and what's next. The 2-day immersive experience includes tours, panels, experiences, and of course, main stage talks with 19 speakers and performers. Located in beautiful downtown Las Vegas at the AC Hotel and Element Symphony Park, this year's speakers include leaders across art, science, business, and culture as well, giving us not just talks, but ideas designed to shift your perspective. These talks are designed as a fully immersive experience that goes beyond the stage, including art, community activations, and curated programming throughout the footprint. This event is coming soon, and tickets are limited, so use the code JOINUS, that's JOINUS, for $25 off. TEDx Las Vegas 2026, past, present, possible, May 2nd and May 3rd in downtown Las Vegas. Get your tickets now at TEDxLasVegas.org.
Okay, question for y'all. Does Boca Park / Tivoli count as Summerlin North? I don't know. What do you think?
Here's the
Does
thing.
it?
For me, especially if we're going to talk about the resort at Summerlin and talk about Suncoast, you can't not talk about Tivoli and Boca Park because they are 3 minutes from each other on Rampart. I mean, they share the general space. And Al used a great word earlier when he said they're in a neighborhood. They've got the Queens Ridge fancy pants area, golf course, and all of that. I live in the general area. I live across from Boca Park. You've got the lakes and the neighborhood right on the corner there behind like the Shell station and things like that. There's so many things that you miss because there's so much commercial on Charleston and Rampart that you forget that they are surrounded by suburbia.
Just north. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's fair. Yeah.
The other thing is, I mean, Summerlin, whether we're talking Summerlin North, Summerlin South, Summerlin wherever, Summerlin's a master plan community. They put up their fences and their gates, and then the Howard Hughes Corporation decides if you're going to be allowed to build in there. They're not known for having a lot of restaurants because they don't want people like me who can't afford to live in Summerlin driving around Summerlin looking for a restaurant. That's also why they put those circles in there to get me confused when I'm in there. So within Summerlin itself, if you actually draw the maps, and I've done this on my app, Neon Feast, we do neighborhood by neighborhood. And when you're doing a Summerlin neighborhood restaurants, you're doing the places that are right on the outskirts, pushed up as close to the edge as Summerlin proper. Now, the resorts, I believe, both of the ones I mentioned, I believe are within Summerlin proper, but they, of course, are giant companies that presumably contracted with the Hughes Corporation. That's how I understand
and have their giant parking lots. You know, they want the visitorship. Tivoli Village into the fold, Boca Park into the fold.
Boca Park just took a huge space that had been empty for a really long time. It's now a 99 ranch market. And normally I wouldn't throw a market out there other than the fact that I love all of the different markets that we have. And that is one of my favorites, especially when I'm going for specific ingredients, if I'm cooking international type foods. But within the market, there's also their own little food area. And so you can go in and you can get Chinese dishes and some fusion dishes and things like that. So there's great food in there if you want to go in for easy but delicious, Chinese and related food. But also the Nevada Brew Works has opened up a new spot, and they are on the corner of that same building, sort of northeast in the Boca Park sort of system. And they've got a huge space where the inside part has a long bar. Half of it is gaming, half of it is not. They've got floor seating. They've got mezzanine seating if you want like an upstairs kind of vibe looking down. They have patio outside. And so they've really made this space more places to come in. So we're sad to see Ciao Vino go. I'm excited to see what might happen there. But I love that we're adding to it. We're not just replacing things. And so that's added to the options in this little corner of the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's not forget, if you go right across the street into that area that's not really Boca Park, but it might as well be, where we have Honey Salt, which is one of the greatest restaurants in Vegas.
The tiny little outpost.
And we've got a Flower Child in there, and we've got a North Italia in there. Those are both very popular chain restaurants that most of my friends seem to love. They don't register with me, but a lot of people I know really love them.
Absolutely.
There's neighborhood standbys.
Yeah, there's a Snooze that's absolutely chain, but it's good
eatery.
Breakfast brunch kind of stuff. Yeah, they've really, the past 4 or 5 years, but especially now with the food hall happening over at JW and the resort at Summerlin, the additions of things in Boca, this area really is getting more of those options and making it more destination worthy than leave the neighborhood and go to another one.
Yeah. There are a couple more additions to Boca Park I saw that have really caught my eye. One is Cafe Landwehr. Interestingly,
Yes.
another like 100-year-old like institution, right? Or 50-year-old
Yep.
institution, several decades old from
Yeah, they started in Europe,
Oh, Europe.
actually.
Okay.
They started brewing beer, and then there was a cafe attached to it. Their biggest foothold now, I believe, is in Southern California, outside of LA. And I've been there quite a few times. I've enjoyed it. It's the old melting pot, the old Chinglish for people who know certain parts of the area.
Okay.
Indoor, outdoor seating, beautiful space. They've really kind of opened it up, brightened it up. Fresh pastries, very Mediterranean vibe. You're getting shakshukas, you're getting
hummus
and some of the pastries
Pitas
and things
and-
like that.
yeah.
Oh, really
Yeah.
great fresh made pita. So, yeah, you've definitely got some more options in there for sure.
And another one that just opened I saw was something called Loaded Empanadas. I have not checked it out yet, but the pictures look really good. I love a good empanada if that crino. That shell is kind of flaky and
Yeah, I keep going past there, and I've yet to get some.
I've
fake
had
home
them
to
when they
try.
first opened, and I have no reason to think that they've changed much. And I really did enjoy it. The empanada dough has got a good chew to it. It's got that crunchy, flaky on the outside, but then that tenderness in the middle. And they have so many options, and they also do specials. So
Ooh, fun.
if that is kind of your vibe, you can get something different all the time.
Okay. I do want to, because there are some old standbys that have been around in Summerlin North for quite a while. I do want us to give a little bit of love to some of the existing restaurants, because while Summerlin North is getting buzzy, doesn't mean that there wasn't good food there before. It's just
Good
been a little
point.
bit quieter. That's all I'm saying. So I'll start just because it was my home base for several years. I loved going to Nitaya's Secret Kitchen. Amazing
Yes.
Thai food.
Yes.
They have this like potato dish in curry that's called the Golden Pouches. Oh, I could eat that like every single day. And the other one I wanted to shout out is also kind of a little under the radar. Oh La La French Bistro over on
Oh.
Lake Union
I
Rampart.
love it.
Love it.
Classic French bistro. So good. Steak frite. You're like walking into Paris. It is
Oh.
excellent.
Their sole manure is probably one of my favorites. I will go there for lunch, for dinner, share
Love
a bottle
it.
of wine with somebody. And I love that it's not a huge space,
Yeah.
but it's comfortable. The menu is just big enough to give you all kinds of really cool French bistro options without being overwhelming. And yeah, the steak frites, classic.
Absolutely.
Yes. Under the radar. Any other kind of like local neighborhood gems from Summerlin North that have been around for a while that you do want to shout out?
I mean, I think you mentioned it earlier, but El Slido Posto has really, once they got their foothold in there after COVID, after Brio closed, they took over and renovated that space, really made it their own. There's so much Italian in this town that the almost classic red sauce Italian can sometimes feel a little bit lost or out of the way. They do it really well. The indoor outdoor is fantastic. The menu has always got fun specials on it. It's seasonal. The cocktails and the wines are really good. And it can be great for a casual thing or a formal dinner.
And let's never forget Echo and Rig.
Oh my gosh, yes.
You want to talk about, a guy who was able to really make Tivoli Village work when nobody
Yes.
could make Tivoli Village work.
You're right.
Yep.
Sam Marvin, Echo and Rig, his formula was something everyone's trying to imitate right now, which is affordable steakhouse that you can
Right.
go to when you don't have to break the bank to go to a steakhouse. He was so far ahead of his time in using cuts that nobody else was using. Now everybody's trying to do that as meat prices go through the roof. But, Sam is really a pioneer in so many aspects, and I still think Echo and Rig is fantastic. And if you have a dog, well, I know one of you has, I think, a Chihuahua, but those of you who have pit bulls like me, it's a good place to go in and get big soup bones for them to chew on.
Oh, I still get them for her. They're
that's so
bigger than she
lovely.
is, but I'll do it.
That is so cute.
Also, even if you're not a steak eater, go to Echo and Rig and get the portobello fries. One of my
Oh, yeah.
absolute
Oh.
favorite snacks in town is those portobello fries. They've got this super crispy outer. The portobello mushrooms are cooked beautifully, and it comes with this herbed aioli that is just perfect snack. Perfect.
Yes, it's fantastic. But shame on you to people of Summerlin North for not supporting Ada's properly, because that
Yes.
is the one loss in that neighborhood that we've had. And I'm very upset to see Ada's Food and Wine close down in Tivoli Village. That's the one downer we have about that neighborhood recently.
I mean, I'm happy for them being downtown, but man, for this area, they really pushed through. They really made something fresh and new and interesting, and really got involved with where they lived and who their customers were. And I don't mind going downtown, but I am really sad that we don't have them here anymore.
Yeah. Oh, another closure that just happened actually a few weeks ago in early March, German Bread Bakery, which was also at Lake Mead and Rampart, closed its doors, which is heartbreaking to me. So yeah, that's another loss. I just really hope that with all of this new life coming to the area that we'll get another excellent quality bakery in its place. So fingers crossed.
Tough on bakeries. It really is.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I did not mention Taste of Asia over in the Suncoast.
Yes.
And this is a Pan-Asian restaurant. You can get dim sum there. You get Chinese, you get Japanese, you get all kinds of Asian. But it is from Carrie Hung. And she and her now ex-husband are the creators of Ping Pang Pong, right?
No way. That's one of my favorite dim sum places. I love Ping Pang Pong.
So if you love Ping Pang Pong and you're in Summerlin North, then you definitely want to go visit Carrie over at Taste of Asia within the Suncoast.
Wholeheartedly agree. I needed that reminder.
Oh, that is good to know. All right, adding it to my list, Al. Thank you. Okay, so Al, Gemini, what are your predictions for the future of Summerlin North's dining scene?
Oh, if I had to pick something to really come in to kind of round out what's happening right now, I think that I would like a really great Vietnamese place. Like, I love that we have Thai. I love that we have Taste of Asia. I love that we have some fusion stuff. But yeah, I need me some banzao and bon kun and some pho in this part of the world. I don't mind driving to Spring Mountain down into Chinatown area, but I think we could really support something like that out here.
Hell yes.
I also would love to see an extremely elevated fine dining restaurant over there.
Yeah?
I think it's getting ready for it. People used to try that in that neighborhood years and years ago. The family that owned the Cirque tried it, and like all these people tried it, and it didn't work. I think the time's ready now. I think you have so much money there, so many people who don't want to go on the Strip, and I would like to see somebody take Mark Vetri and have him do his most upscale idea that he used to be doing at the Palms, right? And
talk about sad closures.
And see if there's support for that, because I think the money is there. There's very few places where you have that much disposable income, and I think the people who are used to really, really elevated dining. I mean, Harlow demonstrated it could work at downtown Summerlin, and I think that there's room for more of it.
I love that.
Putting it on the bingo card for 2026. Fingers crossed. Al, Gemini, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
For having us on. I appreciate it.
And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. If you enjoyed the show, go tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our morning newsletter. Don't forget you can support this show and get some great perks by becoming a CityCast Las Vegas neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Take care.